Hey, what you say, food family? Mike here, and welcome back to the channel for another great culinary adventure. Today we're tackling the king of Texas barbecue. I'm talking about the brisket. It's a tough cut of meat that requires a low and slow cooking process, so if you want to call yourself a true pitmaster, stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Let's get cooking. Alright folks, before we start trimming our brisket today, I want to address a few common misconceptions that really scares people off from making brisket at home. Now every pitmaster out there is going to tell you that their method's been tested 6 ways a Sunday, it's the right way, and every other way is wrong and they're just completely incorrect because we all like to eat brisket differently, am I right? Some people like a hard crunchy bark, some people like it soft, some people want an extra fatty cut of brisket, some people want theirs extra lean. That just means there is no right or wrong way to cook a brisket. Now, depending on which method you want to use is going to give you different results. So with that being said, today I'm going to show you the Grubb on Grub Gluttony Guaranteed method. We combine several different methods out there that are common today. Make it easy for the backyard pitmaster wannabe to nail a perfect brisket every damn time. How's that sound? Alright, with that being said, let's get to trimming. Alright folks, as you can see in front of me, I got a 10-pound brisket I'm going to be smoking today. We'll go ahead and start trimming it up, but I'm not going to tell you all the details because there's a million videos on YouTube already explaining the process. I'm just going to take off the excess fat that I know is not going to render, clean up some of these edges that I know are going to dry out and burn, and just make it nice, smooth, and aerodynamic so it cooks evenly. It's a long, slow cook, so we want this thing about as perfect as we can start with as possible. So that being said, I'm going to skip to a time lapse here, zoomed in. You can see me trim mine up, and we'll get it ready for seasoning. Alright folks, you just saw just did a quick trim up there. By all means, it's not professional, but I don't care because I'm eating this brisket and I like it how it is. Now that being said, I'm not tossing off all those trimmings. Got a whole bag here. I'm going to throw this in the freezer for next time I'm making sausage or even making some brisket burgers. I'll add that to the blend. Now traditional Texas brisket is salt and pepper only for your seasoning. I like some garlic on mine, so I go ahead and make up my own salt, pepper, garlic rub. I've got a couple different types of salt, some MSG, some kosher salt, black pepper, and a granulated garlic. So nothing left to do but season this up on both sides. I'm actually going to start on the bottom side here. We want a nice thick coating because this is going to make that bark. Now, as you can see, I left enough fat on there that's going to render through while it's cooking. Scalped at a couple spots, but you know, life goes on. None of us are perfect. It'll still come out good in the end. So at this right there, I'm going to be splitting the point from the flat. Alright, that should do it. I'm going to go ahead and fire the smoker up to 250 degrees and we'll get this thing out there and start cooking. Alright folks, you can see here we got the brisket loaded up in the smoker. I'm running 2 temperature probes, one in the point there, that extra fat side, and then one right in the middle where it's a little thinner. We're going to be watching the temperature closely today. Other than that, I'm running some beef stock just to keep things moist during the cook, and then my standard competition blend of pellets. Traditionally, Texas barbecue uses post oak. Obviously, I'm in South Dakota where post oak isn't a thing, so I'm using what I got. By all means, use whatever you have. We're going to be running the smoker at 250 degrees until we reach an internal temperature of somewhere between 150 and 165. At that point, it's going to stall out and quit gaining temperature. We'll bring it inside and wrap it up. It's called the Texas Crutch. folks, it's been about 4.5 hours. Our brisket has come up to 165 degrees internal temperature there in that fatty point side of the cut. I've gone ahead and dampened the butcher paper just so it's a little more pliable. You don't have to, it just makes wrapping easier. Before we wrap this brisket up, I'm going to coat it in a layer of Wagyu tallow. That's not only going to help seal in those extra juices, but just add a little extra flavor that we all can't deny, right? So let me get this thing coated in tallow. We'll wrap it up, and then we're going to throw it back in the oven this time at 250 degrees, just until the temperature comes up to 200. Now you could obviously put it out in the smoker and keep it going out there, but if you're like me, I'm ready for a few drinks and some sleep myself. So the oven stays constant temperature. We've got all the smoke flavor we need. Why keep burning wood and charcoal, wherever you need outside? So that being said, let me get this covered in the tallow and wrapped up. Alright folks, as you just saw, we got that brisket wrapped up. Keep track of which side's your fat top side. You want to keep that fat up just so it'll render down through it, even though we added that extra Wagyu tallow just to make sure everything's good and juicy. I'm going to go ahead and throw this back in the oven, 250 degrees until it's done. It's going to take 6, 8, 10 hours. Who knows? Every brisket's different. I am doing this in the oven. That way I can have some drinks, enjoy my evening, take some naps, whatever I need to do, because we've got all the smoke flavor we need. We don't need to keep burning logs or propane or however you're using your smoker outside. So that being said, we'll get this thing in the oven. I'll put the temperature probe in just so it's monitored electronically, and I'll see you at the next step. Alright folks, it's the middle of the night. Our brisket just hit 203 degrees, perfect temperature. We're going to transfer to the cooler, let it rest. It comes down to 104 degrees or so. Then we'll slice it up and see how we did. But in the meantime, cheers, because it's whatever time of the night. Alright, we'll see you in the morning. Alright folks, the time has finally come. Our brisket has rested several hours in that cooler, wrapped up to keep it nice and warm. We're down to 104 degrees. It's time to open this package of deliciousness and see how we did. Oh, would you look at that? Looking delicious. Oh, it smells so amazing. I wish there was smell-o-vision. All right, let's take a slice right down the middle between the point and the flat. See how it turned out. Looking so good. Ooh, it's hot. Nice and tender. Most of the fat's rendered out. Just a slight bit of pull. Let's get a quick taste test. I can't hold out. I'm not going to stop at one taste test. I need a few more bites. Alright folks, I'm going to munch on a few more bites of this. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you some B-roll of how this turned out, both the flat and the point. Alright folks, you just saw it for yourself in that close-up. That flat part of the brisket turned out lean, juicy, and tender. And the point, well, it's fatty and delicious. It's pure sex on fire. I don't know how else to describe it. All right, folks, we've heard my description of this delicious brisket. Let's call in the official taste tester and see what he has to say about it. What do you think? All right, Gordon Ramsay, tell us.
It's juicy. That's the part I like. There's lots of fat, which I like, and mostly the top is the best.
All right, folks, you heard it from the official taste tester himself. We combined multiple barbecue techniques here today. We did a little low and slow cook. We covered it in tallow. We wrapped it in butcher paper. We finished it off in the oven. Anyone can do this at home. There is no right or wrong way to do it. That being said, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Is my backyard Pitmaster method the way for you next time you're making a brisket? I don't know. Let's hear about it. Other than that, Mike here signing off. Until next time, folks, just keep cooking.